Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
No! She's not supposed to be talking about...
I have no idea what's going on, Dre, but it's fun.
Talk about that!
He's having a breakdown. Somebody call Johnny Cochran. Oh, you will taste and see that I am delicioso.
You got to watch it. You got to hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on. Everyone who's watching this
video
needs to go over there,
Don't say it like that.
And share the video. We got to keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it.
Yo, you let it don't hit the back of your throat. Have you no shame?
But I'm so apathetic to Star Wars that this episode could have featured Yoda riding on a dildo being wielded by R2-D2, and I would have the same reaction.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss, they're gonna be hot. Oh, yo, you know Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
I will twerk on her on the bed. I ain't gonna do it in the middle of the dance floor.
That's what I'm. Yeah, whatever.
That's all right.
Why? My brain didn't need that. I'd already seen too many pictures of Shooty today.
What?
Well, there's an image in my mind.
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
so, Jesus Christ. I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
I'm retarded.
I dangled for too long there. That wasn't fun.
This is why I do crystal meth. This week I binged Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos.
And you binged it right out of your
week and you forgot it.
You consumed it and you binged it right out, huh?
Yep, and I definitely took a nice good country dump and it came right out along with it. Two things. One thing is guaranteed to happen, Adam. I'm going to get naked. Either way, either from celebration or depression, I'm getting naked in some way, shape, or form. It's happening. Period. Not up for debate. It's happening.
I've been told by lore people for this stuff for House of the Dragon for the books. Yeah, Rhaenyra, she was into dining at the Clam Slam. She was into that.
Clam Slam.
She slammed clams. She dined at the oyster bar. She was all into that.
Bella Downsy fingered Dora the Explorer on HBO.
There is nobody of merit there. It's for their new fan base. That's who D23 is for. Everybody who went there knowing they sniff crotch and suck shit.
Ooh, so exciting.
There was high top fade, Dre. There's been so many over the years. Cornrows, all of them.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feeling oh so silky smooth.
Listen, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The only reason the world hasn't probably imploded is because of porn. Because you take away the porn, World War IV happens. We're going to skip over World War III. We're going right to World War IV. All right? We need release. We need relaxation. We need things. Whatever scratches your itch, whatever gets you going, whatever gets a rise out of you. As long as you keep it to yourself and you're not hurting anybody else, especially kids, more power to. I don't care if you're a goddamn furry. I just want to see it. But people need their release to stay calm, to stay relaxed. All right? You take that away, enjoy an actual revolution where people of all sides don't agree on anything, will come together and say, no, I'm not living under this world where I can't touch myself. All right? No, this is the reality we live in. It's just there. And as long as nobody's getting hurt, everybody's having a good time. Just because you are either a frigid or an erectile dysfunctional is not a problem that I care about. All right? You know what? There is a single reason why I wouldn't want to become a merman. I wouldn't have my penis anymore. And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
I'm special. Clearly, I'm special. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the round table where we give you our especially unique takes on everything. You never know what I might decide to rant or cry about. You never know. You never know. That's why it's exciting. It's fun. It's unique. It's special. We're not like everybody else. We do things our own way. Jed, you do things your own way. How are you?
Yes, I do my things my own way. I'm doing great. It's great to be here. It's been a wild week, and today is actually a very important holiday for a lot of people out in the world. So I want to take this moment to say Happy Father's Day to everyone. Happy Father's Day to everyone who happens to be a father, is about to be a father, and I wanted to celebrate this new father and just. We all need to take a moment to celebrate this father.
Oh, I see what you did to us there. Oh, my.
And I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the top left, it says, they'll be them for you.
Oh, Lord. Yes,
It's so brave and stunning. Dads will be them for you.
That has to be some sort of weird incest going on there. That's just all the same.
Well, do you recognize who this person is?
Yes.
Okay.
I can see the downsiness all over the place. I'm not blind. I said I see what you're doing here. I see it. This is a nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. And I had a semi nightmare last night. Not like this, but I mean I had a semi. I had one of those dreams where I'm back in school, and it's the final exam day, and I have no idea what the material is. It's like I've been to class, I didn't do the work, I didn't study, I did
classic.
nothing. And here's the weird thing. It's one of those dreams where I feel like I've been there before. I felt like I had a whole history in my mind of going to this class in the dream, but I've never had this particular dream before. At least I don't remember it. And I didn't realize until the end that my professor was Hugh Laurie as a version of House, but it wasn't House. It's batshit. I know, and I'm trying to tell him as I'm sitting there reading this exam, do this process, examine this article and analyze it using this particular process. Like, I don't know what this is. So I'm watching everybody else handing it all in, being done, and I get up and I say, "Sir, I want to thank you for an engaging class this semester, but I can't do this because I don't know what this is about." And you've done well. And he's just trying to, and he's like being all sarcastic and mean to me, like House would be. And while he's in his office having women come in and make out with him, it was so weird. I don't understand what's going on. Hey, listen. No,
I don't think we needed this, Adam. I don't think the stream needed this.
Listen, it was a strange. Hey, listen. My dream I had early in the week. I talked about this one on Daily Dive a couple of days ago. That one was better. It was action oriented. It involved the cast from Big Trouble in Little China showing up to fight with me, fighting undead demon horde. That was a cool one. That was cool. This one, I don't know. This is like some terror creeping up from within.
Is this the Giver? We just got to share our dreams every week. All right, Dre, what'd you dream?
Oh, please, you don't want to hear my filth.
Elizabeth Hurley getting naked?
Oh,
two girls going to be kissing?
Dude,
most definitely.
She did like a shoot recently where she's just getting makeup done with her robe open and like hat and side boob titty out. It was great. It's fantastic. I
The
love
way
it.
God intended.
Yes, and Dre, what did God intend for you right now?
Oh boy, God, too much. So I'm glad I was able to make it. Had our final baby shower yesterday. Lord have mercy, and it was for like my family side of the family. So insanities ensued. A little ghetto black nonsense, but you know, it is what it is. So we made it through. I'm not taking those drugs anymore, so I'm feeling better.
So now,
Feeling better about
but the soreness is still there then, but you can handle
soreness
it.
is still there. I'm still in physical therapy, but I'm not popping the pills no more.
Yeah.
That
Good
like
man.
so last week when I took that was the last time I took it. I took that pill when we were doing stream. I'm telling you, I was on Space Mountain.
It was a struggle.
I was on Space Mountain, and then like, literally right after round table, I laid down. I woke up the next day.
I was saying you woke up on Tuesday.
Yeah. I looked around. I was like what? Like what the heck? How did I wind up in Mississippi? Like what? It was wild. So I'm off the drugs.
Good man. Yeah, I mean, only time I was ever given any sort of pain meds was after I stupidly cut off part of this fingernail, and they had to pull out the whole nail. So then they're like, it needs to regrow, otherwise it'll grow back funny. Yeah, you know what it did? It grew back and it slanted because it didn't reset itself on the nail bed properly. So this entire nail. Anyway, they gave me something and it didn't work. No, not crack. They gave me one of the big pills that they give people, and I took it.
A suppository?
No, I've not had a suppository. Why are you going to the butt stuff? One of the butt stuff. Why are you doing that to me?
You said the big one.
It is a big
one. One of the big ones. One of like the famous pills at the time. This was
like oxycodone or something.
Something like that. And they gave me that shit, and I took it for that. And I'm like, I'm sitting there on the way home in the car. I'm thinking to myself, my finger still hurts, and I don't feel anything. So that's what I realized. I'm not even bothering this shit. It's not even doing anything for me. I'm not whatever. And then I just took a combination of Advil and Tylenol, and that worked just to get rid of pain.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you take, I was told this once. If you take combination of ibuprofen and acetaminophen, one is for the pain, the other one is for the inflammation. Because Advil is for ibuprofen is for pain, and acetaminophen is for inflammation. So you take them both at the same time, it has the effect of Vicodin without the high.
Oh, well, here's the fun in that.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get high. I just want to feel comfortable again. So that's what I took. And it worked.
What is this stream?
It's off the rails. See, Jed,
educational.
Jed, you're an old man stream now. We're talking about our pains and aches and our failures. This is my information. This is what I use for it.
Listen, let's not get into the Ben Gay and the all that kind of stuff. Listen, I try to fight through that kind of pain because Ben Gay just stinks, and it stinks everything that's up. It touches everything, and it lingers. It's terrible, but it's the only one that works anymore on me. I see how it don't work anymore. Long time. Well, I have a bum shoulder because I injured myself like 20 years ago in a gym, and I'll get an occasional thing goes on there. Anyway, yeah, Dragon Lady, hi.
Hi.
Let's get out of this.
Hi. Yeah, not too bad. Went on a Blade Runner binge on Thursday unexpectedly because I found out that the sequel was on Netflix over here, so I went off and watched that for a bit in the afternoon unintentionally. Wasn't too bad, but I wish it was more cyberpunky like the first film was. That was my only complaint.
Okay. All right. Fair. All right. Hail chat. Good sir. Algorithm the Strong, along with the goddess, one of my mods. Tylenol, especially IV Tylenol, is king for pain. Take it from a 22-year survivor. Salute, my friend. Keep taking care of yourself, my friend. And as I said, him, along with the goddess, my mods, here to keep the peace, along with Ruben X, also one of my mods, doing good stuff. Hail and howdy, everybody in the chat. We hope you're having a good Saturday. Let's say hi. I see. Hail Frank Blaskowitz. Hello, my friend. Huzzah, son of Joxer. Going on down. I see Kale. Good afternoon, Kale. How are you? And there we go. Everybody else who's just watching and not chatting, we're happy to have you here. What's going to be a busy show? We got a busy show because there's a lot to talk about. A lot of this today is a bunch of follow-up conversations because we've been covering certain stories for a couple of months now. In fact, sometimes, even longer than that. And this is our due diligence. Our due diligence. Oh, not 22 years of fiber, 22 surgeries.
Wow.
Sorry,
that's a lot more impressive.
I can't read. Listen, I've been up for like an hour and a half right now. Here's the problem with Saturday night and how it rolls with the streaming I do. We do gaming stream for like almost 5 hours. And you guys know if you do something that long, you have to come down from it. You have to chill out. You have to cool down. So what we do is Dermy is still streaming. So we go over to his thing and we start giving him shit. And then it turns into everybody sitting there talking about random shit for another 2 hours. Even when the stream ends, it keeps going. And you're just hanging out and you're realizing, oh, I'm just been sitting here. I haven't said anything for an hour and it's almost 4 o'clock. I need to stop. But it just kind of happens. And I go to bed way too late. I don't know when I sleep anymore, but apparently I do get some semblance of sleep to function every day. So I haven't been up for too long. So the hamster's on the wheel. I did have a good breakfast though, so I got that going for me. Chicken, eggs, bagel. It's good stuff. Anyway, yeah, let's get back on track before I keep going on the randomness. Yes, sorry, Algram, I misread that. And so, hail and howdy, everybody out there. We have a good show for you. We're going to talk Superman Teeth trailer. Because I managed to derail Dermy before he could make Dre sit through it on Friday, so I didn't make you sit through it twice. You noticed I totally derailed him on that one. I knew he was going.
Yeah,
totally steered him away from it. Then we will talk box office. We've got numbers to talk, and I've got corrections to make to predictions I've stated in the past. We will talk, as I said, Andor ratings bullshittery. Because Andor scored high in the ratings, but as we always say, let's understand how current day ratings work.
Yeah, 20 episodes that are an hour long each.
Mm-hmm.
That's
talk about things. We're gonna look at numbers. Let's understand it. Let's understand it and not believe the bullshit being spewed by Andor stands and Andor fans, some of who are retarded in their statements. They're retarded. It's good. Keep watching it. It gets better and better. No, it doesn't. And you're a fool. Anyway, at the same time, we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Switch 2. We've been talking about it for a while, and the numbers are official. And my previous statements were wrong because I didn't understand the comparison of what console launch sales look like. So I made some misstatements that we need to correct and make sure that I understand how this stuff works. So talk about that, and I think that's everything except for we do have a warm-up story. A short warm-up story that Jed brought to my attention the other day. This one, no, that's the trailer. Wrong one. Here we go. It's we have talked about this. You've seen it. We report about it. The fact that former Wheel of Time showrunner Rafe Judkins was on the God of War TV show for Amazon. He was showrunning that, but he got pulled from it when Jennifer Salke got fired. And they brought in a real showrunner called Ronald D. Moore, the man who not only worked on Star Trek The Next Generation, but also did the reboot for Battlestar Galactica, which is hailed in many circles. I personally don't like it, but I respect it. It's hailed. It has its strong fan base, and it earned its place on a shelf for a lot of people. So he's put in charge of God of War, and to me, that was a sign they're taking it seriously. But then Jed brought this to my attention the other day, which now tells me maybe they're not taking it so seriously. And Ron D. Moore may be showrunning and head of the writer's room, but sometimes your writing is still only as good as the other members of the writing room. And Jed, you showed me they're bringing in writer from The Witcher live action show.
This entire production has seemed so schizophrenic. One moment we get terrible news, like you said, Rafe Judkins, and then we get a real showrunner. And then he says, oh, I can't play the video games. I can't engage with that medium at all, so I don't understand it. And then More coming about other writers, and now this. We're getting a writer from The Witcher. I think anyone who wrote for the Netflix's The Witcher show should be blacklisted from Hollywood. I understand that's an extreme perspective, but how many of them have gone on to do better things afterwards? Bo DeMayo is the closest one with X-Men 97. Apparently people like that, but if that's your shining example of post-Witcher work, that's not a great example. In my opinion, Drake could speak more to that, I believe. But yeah, this writer, I don't even remember which episode she wrote with Witcher. She was a minor writer. It was very minor. If she did anything, like if she did an episode on her own, it was one or two maybe. Probably just a background writer. I haven't seen Invincible, so I can't speak on the quality of that. I've heard varying things from season 1 versus the later seasons, so I don't know where she's fitting into this. But overall, this is not someone that you want to cast. You want to cast someone or hire someone who, like Rondi Moore, is a veteran of real television. Streaming service television shows are not real TV because they don't understand TV. You see that with Disney Plus all the time. They hire film people and then they make one long padded film that doesn't make sense and then is divided up into 30-minute segments. It just doesn't work. And Amazon's had that problem a lot. HBO is the only one who's hiring real television people. So a streaming service alum is not the type of direction you want to go. You want to hire someone who worked on Star Trek The Next Generation with Rondi Moore. You want to get someone who worked on, I don't know, Supernatural, just someone who knew serialized television or episodic television from 20 years ago when it was 20 episode seasons, understands how to break things up like that. A Witcher writer doesn't understand how to do that because the pacing in that show is awful. It's so all over the place. So I don't know how big of a role this person's going to have, how many episodes she's going to write or whatnot, but it's not a good sign, at least, unless she's fetching coffee and is technically in the writer's room, but that's it. That'll be fine. But anything more than that, I think, spells a problem.
Now, of course, you mentioned it in the chat, responded to the fact that Rondi Moore made that statement. I haven't played the games to understand it. That doesn't stop him from going to read about it in a source material summary. He could still read about it and learn it. It would help if maybe, or somebody could put him sit him down in front of cutscenes, like a cutscene montage of everything. And hopefully starting with the Greek saga. I
hope he changes the mind because, that's what we heard is that this is going to adapt the Norse story. And you can't have the Norse story without the Greek story. It builds off of it. Yeah. And vice versa. I truly believe that the people who say that Kratos is a different character in Norse are correct. Was a character arc, but you cannot have the ending of Kratos 3 or from God of War 3 and have the same Kratos from before God of War 3. That ending where he sees all the damage he's done and takes his Minecrafts himself, that is a pivotal moment for him that he cannot be the same man that he used to be. And you need the setup for that to understand who he is in the Norse saga. So I hope Rondi Moore comes out and says, hey, we were going to do the Norse stuff, but we decided the Greek stuff was more important to start with. And there's just a lot going against this show. The only thing for it is Rondi Moore himself. That is one positive and a list of a lot of negatives, or at least a lot of concerns.
Yeah, I mean, and Rondi Moore's not perfect. He has had a lot of failures, but as you said, at least he knows what television production looks like. He knows how to make a 24, 26 episode season of television. He knows the pacing. He knows the writing. He knows how to get the job done. But Dre, Jed mentioned Invincible. You're our Invincible watcher. I only watched season 1. I assume you also read the comics.
Yes.
Yeah. So I only watched season 1, and I kind of checked out afterwards. It really wasn't jiving with me, but I did do a content dive. I know what happens throughout the rest of the series, so I've kept up with news-wise, seeing how people are reacting to it, and it has pretty much stuck to most of the story beats. But how has it been as far as storytelling with someone we know who now was involved with Witcher and will be involved with God of War, being a part of it? How has it held up?
It's kind of tough because the Invincible omnibus is thick. I think the omnibus actually has 3 volumes. It's a lot. It's a lot. And once again, you mentioned it earlier, and we've mentioned it several times, how streaming is not real television. And they're telling a very, very long story in a very short period of time. I think each season, is 7 or 8 episodes, whatever, the usual. It's never hitting 10. It's never hitting 10. And a lot of stuff is rushed. But I will say this: it is still entertaining, and the way that it's being written now, opposed to like other shows, Disney Plus garbage, is that it's being written in a way of villain of the week esque way of telling a story. Like from episode 1, we get an ending to episode 1, and then at the end of the season, you'll get like a 2-parter. So it's still telling it episodically, but the seasons aren't long enough for it to actually breathe and to be able to have the actual details. A lot of the nuances, of course, are missing because of how short. You know,
I mean, from what I understand, the conquest show up at the end of season 3.
Yes,
it was too sudden, but everybody was waiting for it. But it's too sudden. But then it's just one and done.
Yes,
the episode was one and done.
Yeah, it's one and done, and that fight like lasted like I think 3 to 4 issues, if memory serves me right. I could be wrong, but and you're hitting the nail on the head. Like the finale was the 2 episodes. They went through. I mean, they went through the Invincible War in 20 minutes. I'm sitting there like, hey, yo, like this joke. This could have been its own season. The Invincible War could have been its own freaking season, and they got through it in 20 minutes. And I'm like, yo, and then like literally right when it ended, we went right into Conquest. I'm like, hey, wait a second, wait a second, like let's breathe for a second. But these shows don't have that opportunity to breathe because you got 7 to 8 episodes to tell your whole story, and it's it's not good for television. Now there are people that really enjoy it, and like me, I've enjoyed Invincible for the most part, outside of race swaps and the usual crap. But other than that, I've enjoyed it for what it is.
There's
not for what it can be.
Statement. Well, I'm tired of having to add that statement onto everything.
But we have to, Adam. That's the reality. That's just where television is now. Because we're not going to get the full quality of what, especially something with a storied history or at least a major fan base. We're not going to get that type of in depth on our shows. It's just what it is. I remember back in the day when we used to say, "Oh man, this comic book movie shouldn't have been a movie. It should have been a TV show, so we can have more time to build and grow and blah blah blah." Now we actually have all these different joints, and now the shows are shorter than the freaking movies. And so it's like, I'm like, yo, like y'all just can't get it right. So, but as far as this was concerned, I think the show is still entertaining. Let me put it out there like that. But the pacing is awful. The pacing is awful.
And you know what the problem is? We've broken this down in other discussions, maybe not on this stream, but I've had it on other streams where we talked about the shrink from 26 to 24 to 22 to 15 to 12 to 10 to 8. And there is a precedent for short series television from Dragon Lady's hometown of England, where they do these 8 to 10 episode series. The problem is the production value of those shows are so through the roof, and they're written well. Like my perfect example is the Poldark series, the last iteration that they did. For the 4 real seasons, because the 5th season's not really even based on anything. They kind of threw that shit together at the last second on the way out the door. But the first 4 seasons, they're tackling literally 2 books a season, and they're only 8 episode seasons. But we're talking hour-plus television.
Yep.
And they still, even though there's a lot of content cut out from the books, they still manage to streamline it and make it feel like you just had a full course meal every time for every episode, every season. And you realize, wow, we are now on episode 8. We've come so far from episode 1. I feel like I've been on a massive journey and I've had so much content given in front of me. The British know how to make that kind of television.
Yes, they do.
And that was aired on regular television. It wasn't aired on streaming. It was aired on regular television. They know how to do it. And the streaming services tried to emulate that thing. Oh, they can get away with that in England. Let's try and do it here now. Along with every other reason they've shortened all these seasons, and they don't know what they're doing because they are hiring subpar writers.
Agreed.
And like we said, Ron D. Moore is a class act when producing television. He knows how to do it, but you're only as good as your writers' rooms. Jed, how many times have we had the conversation where we've had to say, especially you didn't watch it, but you can give another example of a character's only as smart as their writers. Grand Admiral Thrawn is supposed to be one of the most intelligent villains in Star Wars history, and the writers of Ahsoka and Dave Filoni, they made him a bumbling fool. But you're a villain, a villain are only as smart and devious as their writer. I'm sure you can think of something else where that's appropriate.
I think that's appropriate for nearly every current day television show. I mean, the Doctor Who is going to be a great one. The Doctor is supposed to be a vastly intelligent character, and Russell T Davies isn't intelligent anymore, so the Doctor is an idiot in modern Doctor Who. In Rings of Power, Galadriel is supposed to be wise and ethereal, but they can't understand wisdom, so she's just a generic fighty lady. But I think pretty much every show has an example of that these days. And what's even worse is we see this new trend. I just actually looked up this writer on IMDb, and it continues the trend of someone with virtually no experience getting handed the keys to the kingdom. We've seen this a lot where people have only got 3 or so writing credits to their name. Apparently, she's more of a producer. She's produced 24 episodes of television, but only written 11 episodes of television. Can you guys guess what the earliest year that she worked in the industry is?
2020.
2015.
All right. Dre was very, very close. This is her IMDb page. She started working in 2019.
Knew it.
Share it. It's not sharing.
It's not sharing?
Maybe
I see it on my end.
Let me take mine down. Is it not? Are we getting a thing where StreamYard is like being retarded? Okay, I had to take mine down. Okay, there we go.
All right. So the first thing she ever worked on was Swamp Thing in 2019, where she wrote 6 episodes of that.
That flopped.
Yeah, it flopped. And she was on Witcher Blood Origin. That's where she started.
I still have the pain right here from you making me watch that.
That was really bad. So yeah, she wrote one of the 6 episodes for Witcher Blood Origin, and she also produced I think it was 4 episodes actually. Yeah, she produced the whole thing of Witcher Blood Origin. So her second writing credit ever was one of the worst shows ever created.
And I see Carnival Row there. That was not good. Carnival Row was not good.
She did 2 episodes of Carnival Road, and then 1 episode of Witcher season 3 she's credited on, and one episode of so far, and 1 episode of the most recent season of Invincible. That's her writing experience, and she's became a god of fucking war.
DEI.
It seems like it. Who's in charge now that Jennifer Salke's gone, forcing Ron D. Moore to do stuff like this? Because, this is a horrible decision. She's got no experience of any quality. She's had failure, latched on to something that's successful. That's her track record.
Man,
she can't handle God of War, and I don't think she can handle writing a masculine character if this is her track record. If she wrote with Blood Origin especially, that means that she's not going to be able to write a masculine character. And so her episode, Kratos is going to get caught.
Here's the problem. We're going to be reviewing this. We're going to talk about this because we're all over this. And I just had an idea. I'm going to give you a suggestion out of the show. I just had a brilliant idea.
Oh boy!
In terms of covering this, I think you're going to like this after the show. I'll let you know after the show. But this is shaping up to be a disaster. I want to have faith in Ron D. Moore because he has done great in the past, but maybe he doesn't have it anymore. And we're not talking about agenda. Maybe he's been out of the game for so long, and he hasn't done it for so long. Maybe he's lost his touch, and he doesn't understand that you don't just hire these people. Because, listen, I'm not saying Ron D. Moore is a bastion of conservatism or based thinking, because he wrote for Star Trek, and Star Trek has a lot of left-leaning ideas. But the thing about Star Trek is always, and Jed can attest to this, all the way back to TOS, it had a way of presenting all sides and not beating you over the head with it. So
absolutely correct.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, one of the best examples of that, and it's one of my favorite TOS episodes, where they had that species of people that were white on one side of their body, black on the other side of their body.
Cookie.
And and the one half was like, you're black on the right side. Oh my God. You're white on the right side. And it was just so arbitrary that they were able to make fun of both sides of the argument and just facilitate how ridiculous it is. And that was just a beautiful way of putting it, because you can't pick an analog between those two. They're both black and white. So you can't say, oh, you're trying to say that side's better or that side's right. It's just, this is the situation. And I know that example is used a lot, but it's, for a good reason. That is a great example.
Star Trek is, in my opinion, one of the gold standard examples of how to write smart television. They did it for 3 seasons of TOS. They did it for 7 seasons of TNG. They did it masterfully for 7 seasons of DS9 once they got their footing. And they managed to get it right in some movies. And Voyager,
Enterprise. And...
I like Janeway, so I'm a sucker for her.
Oh wait,
so.
Dre, you are into Trek.
I like Voyager.
You are into Trek. I thought you weren't a Trekkie. Oh,
yeah, I am.
Brad wants to talk to you then.
Okay.
Duke Devil wants to talk to you.
That sounds like a threat.
Okay. No, it's a promise, is what it is. It's a promise. I thought you weren't for some reason in my head. You know what I think I got my wires crossed. You don't care about Lord of the Rings, but you are into Trek. I got my wires crossed. Oh, okay. I'm gonna let Brad know. He's cool. Expect to reach out from Brad. Okay,
right,
great. Yeah, because you want to talk some DS9. You want to talk some DS9, don't you?
I do like DS9. Cisco is the man.
Yeah. Then yeah. I got a show for you. Anyway, okay, so there's that. So we have very little hope for God of War at this point, but we are going to still cover it. I expect this will be done probably next year at this rate. If they're working on it now, they're gonna
at the end of next year at the earliest, I'd say, because they're nowhere near production, and production with these streaming services happen well over a year before it comes out. So I'd say 2027.
Yeah. Either way. Real quick though, I feel the need to remind everybody that there's a new donation tier going on here at the channel that this show is involved in. Daily Dive, Roundtable, gaming streams, and Mellow Mondays. If you donate during these shows, there's a new thing suffer. And think about it like this, guys. If you donate to this tier, you're gonna make Jed suffer too. Okay.
Uh-oh.
No, they're not.
During the week of Doom, if we can cross $500, we'll be doing a live stream playing Disney Star Wars, which you'll be there, so they will make you suffer.
And I'm not gonna. I'm gonna laugh through it. Playing tabletop Disney Star Wars, being as cringe as possible, sounds fun as shit.
Well, I mean, if we get to $500, it'll happen during the week of Doom. If we can get to $600, the chat will choose the era. If we get 700, I'll play a famous NPC from that era as an NPC. I'll control it because I'll be running the game. At the same time, though, if we get to $800, doesn't matter when it is, we'll put Baby Yoda Grogu in there just to fuck around. Just to fuck around because we don't care. And then at $900, we'll force an IP crossover with other Disney IPs because Disney has said they all share the same universe. Everything there. They've done that. They've made that clear with their stupidity. And then at $1,000, the chat can make our players play characters they want. So you could make Jed be Geode from High Republic, be a rock. Think about that, guys. Think about that.
That'd be fun.
So, think about it. So, guys, all current super chats, stream elements, tips, membership donations, they will go towards this for the next month or so, a little bit into July since we started it, a little into June. And you can make this happen during the Big Doom. We're currently at $112. So have fun. Another way to make us listen. Jed may have fun with it, but remember, I will be suffering this because that means I have to write a campaign. It'll be a one-shot campaign for that day, but I still have to write out a campaign, and I have to play Disney Star Wars, and I'll have to play a retarded Disney Star Wars character from that era. Imagine you could have it be Acolyte, and you could make me be OSHA.
Oh,
I want you to be Smiler Ren.
I could Queerdo Ren, or what do we call him? Shit, I called him something else. I called him Darth Zipperface. What did I call him? Also, I call him something else. His name is Kieran, so I call him like Queeran or something like that. So yeah, he's an effeminate man. So you can make that happen. You can make that happen. Why would I don't need AI assistance. I can write my own stuff. Ask Jed. I'm putting together a real campaign right now for stuff. So we're make us suffer. Send super chats. It's fun. Anyway, so that's our current donation going right now. We get any super chats, tips like that, we'll update it throughout the stream. All right, so since we're talking television, let's go to this story next before we go to box office. We got numbers this week for the Andor season finale, and I didn't love the brightness on my screen here, so it's blasting me in the face because I can't.
It's what?
It's doing what to your face?
Shut up. Anyway, Anyway, so we got numbers, the final numbers for Andor. Now, I did keep track of Andor numbers somewhat during its run. Most notably, Samba it didn't appear on Samba until towards the end. And it went up and it went down. And as I'm going to show right now, it finally went away. Nielsen's was another question, another story, however. Once it appeared on Nielsen's, it only climbed. But as we always say, if you are tracking anything today, it falls under the million, billion minutes viewed metric.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not an accurate thing. And here, Park Place tells us Andor #1 is streaming as Disney stacks the deck with obscure release schedule. Is Kennedy's big win and embarrassment of Dave Filoni? Now, there's a lot to go into this. Now, what do they mean by their schedule release? They dropped 3 episodes a week for 3 episodes in a day for 4 weeks.
Well, which is important to note. If you're dropping 3 episodes a week, and it didn't show up its first week, right? The premiere, it was the second or third week when it showed up in the Nielsen's,
It was the
right?
3rd week when it finally showed up.
If you're dropping that many episodes and not showing up in the Nielsen's for minutes to watch, that's bad. All right. That is actually really bad because you have 3 times as many minutes as a normal episode of television would, which means you have a 3 times as likely chance to hit the top 10. It's just, I mean, that might be simplifying the situation, but they're stacking the deck in their favor, and it took them 3 weeks to get into the Nielsen's.
Followed by controversy, a lot of controversial stories and controversial conversations, and a lot of people deciding to, on both sides. On the stand side, you had people who will suck this thing dry for how much they love it. And then on our side, people who suffer from cognitive dissonance, who are so desperate for good Star Wars, they convince themselves this is good Star Wars, and they'll play the game. Oh, I consider this along with Rogue One. I'll keep this. We'll have to throw everything else away. Not understanding all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. This doesn't change anything. It's still Disney Star Wars, and that Tony Gilroy purposefully wrote an agenda-packed story, but left it vague enough because he knew that the loyal stands would fill in the blanks and make it massively political, which we've covered on many times. We're not getting into it now. But right here, so as we said, 3 episodes in one day, batch drop for 4 weeks in a row. Jed mentioned it. It took them weeks to get on Nielsen's, and they only showed up on Samba towards the end, but they never broke out of the bottom 5. And eventually winning. But we finally got the final numbers for the grand finale where everybody was just cavelling and touching and wetting themselves over it. And listen, it made it to the top in both overall and original. That shows you it topped everything for the week of May 12th.
We do have to say that is impressive. That rise is an impressive one. People did come out to see it, and the audience did grow, but it's not the overwhelming success that people are talking about. It's decent. This rise is decent. This is good news for Andor overall, but not the, oh my God, this is the best. Everyone loves it. It's so popular. It should get a season 3 and all that nonsense.
But then remember the caveat, Jed, you touched on a little bit. 20 plus episodes. That's 2 seasons worth, 24 episodes. When you go to Nielsen, first of all, when you go to Nielsen and Nielsen tracks stuff, it's tracking all minutes to watch for the entire series, not just season 2. So that 931 minutes, there is no way to know what is season 2 and what is season 1.
I'm sure people marathon the show in the lead up to the finale.
They admitted it on social media. I'm going back and watching it. I'm doing this.
So that skews the numbers. That's why Nielsen should never include data that isn't from the episodes that came out then, or at least make a separate category for it. Because, Grey's Anatomy getting a whole lot from its entire run isn't as impressive as it sounds either, because people are marathoning it, but the fact that it's still there is great. It's just, they're incompatible metrics. Nielsen's is just put everything into a big pot, and it's become a jumbled mess. Have a entire show reach this much in this period of time, and then these new episodes reach this amount of watched in this period of time. You got to divide those, otherwise this is nearly meaningless.
And you mentioned it also before, 3 episodes. It took 3 episodes every week in one day to get this. That means alone these episodes wouldn't track. They'd be in the bottom. At best, they'd be in the bottom 5 of the top 10. They're not. Nobody's rewatching. I heard somebody actually say they broke it down. Less people watch this than watch Skeleton Crew. Well, you do it by episode breakdown. If you give an autist the numbers and they break it down, nobody really watches. So that's why this is skewed. And then there's the other point. Let's go. I don't have them anymore, but I do have the final one. But I can attest. You can go look up yourself. It is still available for that. If you go to Samba, Andor only showed up in the bottom 5 and did climb for the final weeks. But Jed, we just saw the big finale, number 1 on Nielsen, right? We just saw the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Where is it on Samba? And Samba is much more, even though Samba doesn't sample as much as Nielsen does, their sampling size consists of smart TVs and devices plugged into smart TVs.
So, yeah,
it's a better snapshot. It's a better snapshot of the moment.
Snapshot, absolutely. Samba's not great with the numbers. Like if you see the 1.5 million, it doesn't really matter for Samba, but their top 10 actually shows a lot of value because it shows which are more popular, and that metrics works. And it only shows the stuff that is new, or at least like here it's saying season 1. They're a lot more specific about it. So their top 10 has a lot more value than the top 10 of Nielsen's. Nielsen's only has some value because it shows everything minutes watched. So you get the encapsulating more things than just smart TVs. But it's complicated, but Samba is probably the better metric
for
anyway.
A snapshot in time, because that's what these things are about. It's about a snapshot in time. And right now, Samba's sampling size, because that's what all this stuff is, a sampling size of people to gauge how a show is being received and if it's popular. Samba's sampling size and snapshot is more representative of current moment television, not entire series, but who's watching the thing in the moment. And it says Mobland season 1, but Mobland was released on a weekly episodic schedule. They didn't just batch dump it. So Mobland being number 3, that means by the finale. This is the finale. This is halfway through the season at this point. That's a success. Oh no, that's the premiere. I'm sorry, that was premiere Mobland right here. That was the premiere. So. Or maybe it made it on there. I don't know. No, wait, I'm sorry. New means it's his first time appearing on the list. Sorry from the previous week. New appearing. Sorry. They changed how they changed their graphics recently, so I'm still getting used to how they are saying stuff. Because now they didn't used to show the up or down or the new when it appeared. They just used to have it on there. Now I'm getting used to how they do it. Point is, this is a good snapshot. Nielsen is a good snapshot for a first time appearing thing. Like when we did Rings of Power for season 1, that was great because we watched it appear and then disappear. Skeleton Crew never appearing, that told you something for that one. Andor season 1, that told you something. All the season 1s, Nielsen is good for a season 1 of something. After that, like Jed said, it's skewed. Andor was not a success, and everybody claiming it was a success, you're full of shit. It's as bad and did as bad as everything else Disney Star Wars. This is why you need to have intelligent conversation. And am I biased? You damn straight I'm biased. I hate everything Disney Star Wars. I will give it no edge or opportunity of goodwill. But I can still be objective when numbers come out. And this is the objective take on this. Samba showed us snapshot of time. Andor got on, went up, disappeared for their so-called grand finale. And billion minutes views, whatever watched, that is one of the worst metrics ever. And the sooner we get away from that, the better. I don't know how we're going to, but we will. But that's the only way we can ever truly understand something at Nielsen if they start doing that. So any extra thoughts on this? Because I wanted to make a statement on this because now I never want to talk about Andor again. I don't want to have to because it's canceled.
Well, I don't think you will have to because, there's not any more Andor coming out because it's too expensive to make. There is no way on earth that Disney can get a return on investment on $600 million worth of budget for 2 seasons. But it's not in the zeitgeist. There are people who love it and go crazy about it, but the average person doesn't watch it. And that's what we're seeing with the numbers here. Star Wars just isn't relevant anymore. So I don't think you're going to have to talk about it too much in the future, because now that it's over, it's going to fade quickly.
It has faded.
Mhm.
This was the last gasp. No one's going to talk about it, except to complain, oh my God, we have to go back to Dave Filoni. And to those people I say, on the stand side, you were happy with it a couple of years ago. You're all hypocrites. You praised and loved Ahsoka. You praised and loved all that shit. Now you don't like it because now Tony Gilroy made you think you're smart, when in fact you're still stupid. All right. Let's move away from this now that we never have to talk about Andor again. And let's talk box office. Box office. Fascinating box office right now. Because last week we were, of course, following the saga of Lilo and Stitch. We were following the saga of Lilo and Stitch, and we said, can it get to $1 billion? An inch closer, up from 750 to 825. But Jed, last week you said, if it keeps dropping at the pace it's dropping, it might not have enough juice, and it dropped another 50% from last week.
It depends on how long they leave it in at this point. It might be close enough that they're like, yeah, we'll give it an extra month, and then it'll limp across $1 billion. But if it's the normal release window, that's what, 45 days is the average now. We're coming to the end of that, and it's not going to cross $1 billion, I think, at this point for 45 days. But if they leave it in for 60, it's going to get there, but barely.
It needs another 175, Dre.
Good Lord. It's going to make it probably.
Inches by inches.
By inches, but I think it's going to make it. But 50% drop, that's going to be tough. Like, but if it's in there for another month, because what's going to compete with it?
Well,
for all of June.
We've got competition. I mean,
there's already competition.
There's competition where I have to. I gotta say,
I forgot that show came out this weekend.
Well, that's the thing. It came out, and I have to make a statement here. I have been saying since last year, and include the beginning of this year, that this was going to do terribly, based upon the information we had.
Yeah.
And you guys can back me up on this. We'd have to go back and find the old streams. But whenever we talked about this, we brought up the articles, the information that the people making this movie said, it's going to be different. We're going to change some things, especially the story. It's not going to be the same. And then the trailer started coming out, and we said, well, wait a minute. They're showing shot-for-shot classic moments from the animated movie. What's going on here? But then are they going to actually show, it's just going to be a scene-for-scene, shot-for-shot re-release, remake? And I said, well, I think they're lying. I think they're lying to us with the trailer. I think they're lying because they said it in these articles.
Yeah.
But here we are. And in the past several days, a lot of reliable people have seen this movie and said, with the exception of some extended scenes, it literally is a shot-for-shot remake. So I will eat a little bit of crow just because I said one thing. I think my reasons are legitimate, but this will be a success now. With a budget, I think around 150. I believe that was the budget. Doesn't say it here, but I believe it was around that. Actually less than the animated movie, but that's apples and oranges. We could discuss that at a different point. At already nearly 200 million, maybe with adjusted, might break 200 million worldwide first weekend. This thing only needs about 450 to break even. And
yeah, so 165 is 165?
The budget. Okay, so 165. So yeah, around 500. And it'll hit that in the next couple of weeks. So it'll make some profit. And it'll do well. It will not be the flop that I said it was going to be. But that begs the question, as we go down and look at the actual numbers here in the box office. We have smattering of international. We don't have it all there, but it's been released. What's its release schedule? Actually, it was out earlier in some places than it was here.
Japan's not getting it for 2 months, 3 months.
Japan, they get weird release schedules. A lot of movies they get like 2-3 months later, and it's not a market. They don't care about opportunities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the important thing to note here is, yes, our prediction for this movie were wrong. I agreed with Adam and thought it would be kind of underwhelming at the box office, but we were working off of false information. The director lied And so we had to make predictions based on the information at hand, and that information proved to be incorrect. I don't know why he would make that lie. I think Adam's correct that they changed their mind at one point during the production. There might have been reshoots which would have ballooned the budget, but at this point, How to Train Your Dragon live action is going to be successful, I think. I don't see anything else.
Not $1 billion success.
Oh,
but
no, but it's going to make money.
650 maybe.
Yeah, I think 650 is a good projection at this point.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I can't imagine why the director would come out and say that unless things had changed.
Well,
what benefit is there to that?
You know what I think, Dre? I think Snow White changed the field on a lot of these things when that disaster happened.
Yeah.
People said, "Oh shit, we've still got time. Let's take out all the shit that we added and re-edit this thing into just the same movie."
And I'm inclined to agree in that regard because, like you said, early on we got information that wasn't true, and well, no, let me say it like this: at one point, probably was true, but then they hit the remix button because I gotta give it is DreamWorks. I'm not tripping, right? It's DreamWorks.
Yeah, it's
right?
DreamWorks.
Yeah, DreamWorks has a reputation for making fun films. Like Shrek is like one of the biggest Jones of all time. Even like minor ones like Turbo and stuff. Like they've made stuff that made oogles of money. They took one look at what Big Daddy Disney was doing, and everybody knew it's over. It's over. If there was political agenda, whatever, finger blast, whatever it is that they were into, it's over. And I'm going to give them credit because I don't know, but I'm going to put based off of the preponderance of the evidence on the landscape, they did a course correction.
I agree. That it's the only explanation.
Yeah, they did a course correction, and they realized that they were going to be lambasted through, from what I understand, is a very much beloved franchise. Very much beloved franchise.
It's a great franchise.
They were like, "Yo,
fantastic! It's a fantastic movie.
like let's reverse this." Like I said before, I've only seen the first one, and I thought the first one was solid enough and was decent. And it was really good, especially pretty, like some hard lessons for a quote unquote kids movie about consequences, even for heroics, which I thought was a very good lesson. The villain didn't make sense to me, but it's a beloved franchise, and I think they realized that they were going to screw up. And I think some exec that likes Lamborghinis was like, "Yo, y'all better change this up because Daddy wants a new Lamborghini, and what y'all talking about is anti-Lamborghini, and I can't have that." So but good for them. Good for them. Great for them.
And there's a lot of goodwill in the movie because you got I had his name and I just
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. Thank you. Gerard Butler. He voiced Stoic in the animated stuff, and they brought him back for the live action, and he was really into it. So he gave it his all. I've heard that one of the best things about the movie is Gerard Butler's performance as Stoic. So you get that in there, and I heard just about everybody else in the movie does a good job except for race swapped Astrid. Apparently, she's a plank of wood in the movie. It's
apparently gave her a lot more scenes, gave her a lot more heroic moments, and it just doesn't make sense to me. But the problem I have is the Hiccup casting. Hiccup is way too traditionally. He doesn't look like skin and bone like the original Hiccup is supposed to. So I don't buy him pretending that his sword is heavy and that Astrid is stronger than him. In the animated film, I could totally buy that Astrid is stronger than him and able to do the feats of strength that she's able to do. In this, he looks like he's strong. He's got a sharp jawline. He looks like he could spend 2 months at a gym and get jacked. Hiccup shouldn't look like he has the potential to be jacked in a couple months. So I have a bigger problem with the Hiccup. But the Astrid stuff, a lot of people saying she was boring. She was race swap. There was also the other race swap that from Deadpool 2, the kid from Deadpool 2 was in it. And they made one of the twins a fat bitch.
And they made them gingers, which I think you should feel offended by.
I do feel offended by that. And from what I heard as well, Nick Frost was in the movie playing how do you
Gobber.
Gobber. And apparently he phoned it in, is what I've heard, is that, yeah, he's just very bland. All of Gobber's lines are really funny and endearing. Apparently, it's the same lines, just, yeah, change all of you. And it feels soulless, is what I've heard. It's the same movie with no soul.
And so we asked the question, one of Dre's favorite lines, does this thing deserve its existence?
No.
And I personally don't think so. People may be enjoying it and say it's not terrible. And if they're going to do remakes, it should be that. And I've even heard the phrase that it gives people who don't want to watch animated stuff a way to watch something, which boggles my mind. I don't know why people are so against animation. I've never understood that.
I think it's just a stereotype. It's just a stereotype because like cartoons are looked at as kid stuff. And that's just a stereotype that's been around for decades and decades.
I've never understood it. Maybe it's because
I never understood it either. I never understood it either. But it is what it is.
Well, it's also that, but a lot of people see the animation as non-legitimate. Like the director came out and said, we looked at the original animation as a test screening of this. It's the tech demo of the story, and we're doing the real thing.
But
and that's perspective.
That's such bullshit because they made 2 more movies and 3 television series all wound into it. So much so that they are probably going to make the sequel. They're going to make the second one no problem. And
Kate Blanchett's already rumored to.
Going to get Kate Blanchett, who voiced Stoick's ex-wife and Hiccup's mom. So that will put people will want to see Gerard Butler and Kate Blanchett on screen together in those roles. They'll want to see it, especially because the emotional impacts of what goes on in the second movie. So it has done well. I'm glad they didn't butcher it. Lost wife, ex-wife. I mean, she didn't die. She left him secretly.
I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I would not have forgiven her that easily. She did bad. She left.
She bailed.
That was a fucked up thing to do.
For her greater calling, that she put it. And if you watch the movies and the TV shows in proper order, she does make an appearance the final episode of the show that takes place before the second movie to tie into all that. And if you know, but they're going to make all 3 movies in live action now. They're going to. It's a given. Because this is a success and it will make its money. And that's all they're going to need to greenlight it. But to borrow Dre's phrase, I don't think this earns its existence because the animated stuff is superior. It's just superior. And granted, the animated stuff is not pure. These are based on a series of books, and the books are drastically different than the movies. In the books, Hiccup has more than one dragon in the books. They all have more than one dragon that they use. And a lot of other different things happen. Things don't play out the same way. So the movies are not lore accurate to the books, but they did justify their existence by being made with passion, heart, and soul, and becoming beloved, and spawning successful television shows that aired on Cartoon Network, which were hysterical. The comedy in those shows, I remember when I got back from China and I was laid up for that year and a half or so, I was watching anything I could. The 3rd movie had come out during that period of time. And I hadn't seen it yet. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I didn't really, at the time, give the TV shows a chance. I'm going to watch everything in chronological order. I'm going to watch it all. The first movie, the first TV show, the second TV show, the second movie, then the third TV show, and then the third movie. I watched everything. It took me like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I think, to get through it all. And it was great. And when you get to the third one, and they're using all the same voice actors mostly and everything, it was great. The comedy that they wrote, I'm crying so hard at the time I was laughing. Maybe I was retarded. I don't know. But it was funny. It was a good time. It was made with passion and enjoyment. And I don't know how you can replicate that with just 3 live action movies that are carbon copies, essentially, especially if you're going to keep giving the role, if you're going to keep this little half-breed in charge of as Astrid in there. Because what's her name? Nicole, what's her name? She cannot act, from what I'm told. And also she's a bitch. Like right up before the premiere this last week, she's telling people, oh, I shouldn't be made to wear a wig, and if you don't like that, I don't care what you have to say. Essentially, you can all shut up.
It was very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive, very angry. But here we are. Here we are. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna do well, and good. Fine. But
I think the most important thing about the discussion is what we were talking about a minute ago with the view that animation isn't legitimate. I believe adaptations should exist if they can give something significant to the story, like adapting something from a book to a movie. Obviously, you're getting a lot of value out of that transfer to see a physical representation of what the story is. Animation and film, they're so similar that you're not really gaining anything from going to one or the other. So no live action remakes should exist, in my opinion. I don't think any of them so far that I've seen, at least, have offered anything of value, of substance to these stories, because they're already a physical medium. Change it into a different medium, or change it into a TV show so that you can show the story in a broader way. I'm not happy with the Harry Potter TV show, but I'm glad that in principle, I would prefer it to be a TV show series rather than a movie series, because you have that time to give something new, to bring something to the table with an adaptation or a remake. We don't see that with any of these animated films. And I actually had the thought, since you mentioned it, that the books were very different. If I were told, hey, you have to make a How to Train Your Dragon live action, you don't have a choice, what are you going to do with it? I'd come out and say, all right, everyone, the original animated film is near perfect. It is beautiful. I can't touch that. I can't improve upon that story whatsoever. We're not touching it. What I'm going to do is try to adapt the original books and see if I can tell a different story. I'm not trying to be the animated film. I want to show the books as they can be represented in live action and be something so distinctly different. That's the only way that this could justify its existence, in my opinion. Whether or not it was a carbon copy or a complete bastardization, it shouldn't exist if it's adapting an animated film. But the books, that's a different story entirely.
Yeah, that's the rare opportunity. If there are source material that wasn't adapted the same, you have a chance to differentiate. You have a chance to separate and maybe make your own way where you're not going to be directly compared. And all I've heard in all the takes of people who see it and been talking about it on stream in the past 48 hours is it's this. All we could do is compare it to the original. And in the end, those who have been watching the original for years have all said the original is better overall.
But then you have the only thing that's left is we need money. That's the only thing that it can be that can justify its existence, is that we need money. And we know if we do a shot for shot, which, okay, look, I'm a big proprietor of shot for shot. I know Jet isn't, but I'm a big proprietor for shot for shot remakes in different mediums. Like, for instance, like when it comes to like comic book adaptations, I would kill just about every small lamb and sacrifice to any deity to just get the comic and put it in there, scene for scene, page for page, panel for panel, no changes. DC,
that's a big median change, though. I agree with you there. Comic books should be very accurate.
Yeah, for me, I believe the written word to the screen, in my opinion, written word to the screen, especially in comic books, take the page, put it up there, make no changes. And DC did that very well with a lot of their animated joints back in like the mid 2000s. They did a very good job with that.
Yes.
When it comes to something that's animated, like let's just like Train Your Dragon or whatever the case may be, I think it is beneficial to just do a shot for shot, because I think that's the lesser of the two evils, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think the lesser of the two evils, because let's just say they don't do a shot for shot and then they change how a character acts or change how a character responds to certain things. We've seen this a bunch of times in Disney remakes. The Disney remakes, like first one that comes to my head is the Beauty and the Beast remake, which may be the sign of the Antichrist.
It was bad. It was terrible.
But you didn't like the Black Death being involved?
No, let alone their attempt to be my guest was an abomination.
Everything about that movie. Look, that's my 1A and 1B. 1A is Beauty and the Beast. 1B is Hunchback of Notre Dame. Those are my two favorite Disney movies of all time. And what they did to Beauty and the Beast was an abomination. And that's like the downside to the we're taking creative liberties. It's garbage every single time. So, in my opinion, I think just doing it a shot for shot is just the best way to just do it. Because I would hate, like, once again, I'm not a fan of How to Train Your Dragon, but imagine they took Hiccup and he's no longer the timid, whatever, not sure of himself guy, but he's thinks he's cool, or maybe he's a jerk in modern stuff. He's a jerk and he's mean to everybody.
Mhm.
And you'll be like, wait, this isn't how Hiccup acts. This isn't right. I'd rather it just be like, hey, we saw what worked 10, 15 years ago, and we're just hitting a replay button.
Yeah.
I think
It's definitely the lesser of two evils. I definitely agree with that. I still just don't know what it brings to the table, what it offers. But comic book to movie, that's a medium change. That's bringing a lot to the table. Shot for shot remake is definitely the great way to go for most of those. But animation, we already see it. So I just don't think there's enough reason to justify its existence.
100%.
If it's a shot for a remake or a change.
I mean,
100%. Because it's just money. It's got to be just money.
It's
got
just
to be money.
Something original is more risky. So
but so one of the things that I will see as a possible problem for How to Train Your Dragon live action is it's not going to hit it will definitely not hit $1 billion because people are going to go see it, and then I think they're going to want to go watch the original stuff.
I agree.
And then they're just going to stay home for that and not go back after they've seen the movie and go home and watch the original stuff. They're not going to go back and see the movie again. And
it's not going to have a whole lot of replayability, just like the other Disney live action. Even the $1 billion Disney live actions, no one rewatches those. They go watch the animated.
The international that carries that stuff a lot of the time. So it's going to make its money most likely $650, somewhere $650. It's already probably bought itself the sequel, and then we'll see if it can get to the third one. But the bottom line, as you guys said, this was the best of all possible results for a situation like this. It's not an abomination, but from our opinion here on this panel, on the show, it still doesn't justify its existence because
not for 1 second.
At least not for 1 second. For somebody who is a fan of this franchise for years, I agree, doesn't justify its existence. But we're talking about comic book to movie adaptations. And we are literally a month away, now less than a month, because today is June 15th, from a movie that by all rights should have been the biggest movie of the year. Should be the biggest movie of the year. But at this point in time, it is middling in its enthusiasm. Now, it has its fans, so much so that if you criticize it, Jed, apparently if you criticize Superman, apparently I'm a virgin because I don't like this last trailer.
Because that makes sense. Those things connect.
Yeah. Also, because I complained about subtitles. Somebody says to me, I was looking forward to your reaction, but as soon as you started playing about subtitles, don't you realize that some people don't speak English as good as you? To which I replied, it's speak English as well. To which I replied. Gal was proud of me for that one, by the way. To which I then said, listen, if you're upset that I complain about subtitles, you're probably not going to enjoy the rest of my takes. So, no. So we get this fight. This might not be the final Superman trailer because it would have said final. I think we get one more before all is said and done. But we got this latest Superman trailer out of nowhere this week. Out of nowhere. And also, I got a complaint literally saying, why are you watching this if you don't, why are you watching this if you don't like it? Why are you spending so much time grifting? To my response was literally, and this is true, because he's right here. He's in the chat right now. Dom paid me $20 to react to this trailer. I was literally paid to react to this trailer.
It's literally your job.
Yes, it's my job. I was literally paid hard cash money to do this. And it is, Dre, you liked the last one. Out of all of us here, you were the most positive last one.
Yes.
Let me get to the point here. I should have had 1 second here.
Yeah, I like the fact that Superman was doing Superman things. Yeah,
a little bit, but then how do you feel about this teeth trailer, Dre?
That's a disaster. Now, so that like we mentioned it before about the CGI in this in these trailers are not good.
No.
I don't know where the money went.
And James Gunn says it's done. He says it's in the can. It's finished.
Well, he's finished. All right, he's finished. Because the CGI in this joint, and the thing is, this isn't the most egregious CGI that was in this joint.
It's retarded. This is James Gunn.
This is my problem. This is not the time or place for James Gunnisms.
Yeah.
I want Superman doing Superman things. All this weird quips and all the weird camera stuff, like the cinematography. It's weird. It's weird and it's goofy. And the thing I think is goofy the most is the flying. All the flying scenes are shot goofy and weird and absurd. And I don't know why. It's very bizarre to have these what's that? Flare lens like on the
fisheye.
head.
I've heard it's called the fisheye lens. That's what I've heard.
God.
It's a terrible choice.
Yet look, these fight scenes are so dynamic and different.
Bro,
I love it. I love the unstable. I love how unstable this shot is. Like the camera is trying its hardest to follow Superman while he's at speed.
That aspect of it's fine, the shaky cam, but yeah, the fisheye lens is terrible.
Yo, rewind a little bit. Look at that.
Why is his hand look so big? I could believe this was Mr. Fantastic effect.
That's what I'm saying. That's an Astro Boy. What are we doing? These effects are garbage. It's terrible.
But Dre, we're just haters, and we don't understand Superman. We don't understand that Superman has a sense of humor. And Snyder, he took it away, and James Gunn is bringing it back. No. Here's the thing, and I am not a huge Superman comic reader because I wasn't collecting comics anymore in my heyday in the 90s when there was a lot of stuff going on. I wasn't really doing that, but I am huge into Superman animation, and I have it all right behind me. Not all. I still need Batman, Superman, Avengers, but I've got Paul Dini, Bruce Timmverse. That is a picture-perfect representation of Superman Clark Kent from all angles. Yes, he has a personality. Yes, he's funny, but he's an aw shucks personality. It's kind of dad joke humor.
Yes, he's not a goofball.
Yeah,
he's not a Guardians of the Galaxy experimental character. That's not how. Like this, I'm saying he doesn't understand how this universe works, and I'm speaking as far as DC in general. He doesn't know how this world works. Everything is not a joke. It's not a joke. And I look, I don't want to be that old curmudgeon waving his cane. But I want my Superman to be serious. I want my Superman to be like, yes, I have a smile on my face. Yes, I do wave and kiss the babies. Yes, I do like a little quip here and there. But I'm all business. Turn to the camera and saying one-liners is not what Spider-Man.
I would love to play it, but Warner Brothers is ash hole, and they claim the shit out of everything I've done on this so far.
They want to do.
I fought it too, and I lost. Point is, though, when watching this trailer, and you can go watch my reaction. I brought this up, so I'm going to bring this up to you guys right now. Listening, some people were saying at first, "Oh, this is just a secondary recorded thing." No, these are lines from the movie. These are lines from me. If this is, and people were saying it's okay, I disagree. Listening to Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. Nicholas Holt is a good actor. We can agree on this.
Fine.
Yeah.
But from what I heard in this trailer, if this is his delivery for Lex Luthor, where's the gravitas? Where everything? You like him? I will kill your family. I'll kill the people who like you. Blah, blah, blah. There's a tonal problem there with his delivery. And then hearing Cornswallet get in there and say, I won't let you get away with this, Luthor. I'll stop you. Yes, your attempted comic book dialogue. It's cringe. If this is what the movie's going to be like when they're in that type of situations, the dialogue sounds like shit to me.
And this is the problem. This is the problem I've had with the MCU over the last 10 years, because of how well received Guardians of the Galaxy had been the first film, and they basically copied and pasted that formula into nearly every single MCU film we've had since, to the point where just. And I'm not saying everything has to be dark and serious, but I'm also saying that not everything has to be a Saturday morning cartoon in the style of James Gunn.
Well, to even more to put it accurately, Jed, it's not so much James Gunn, it's the Whedon effect again. Everybody's trying to mimic something. It started with Joss Whedon, and now it's James Gunn doing James Gunn. Instead of everybody doing Joss Whedon, now James Gunn is just doing James Gunn every time. And
yeah, everyone's trying to copy each other. It gets so incestuous. And yeah, James Gunn, I was initially looking forward to his announcement, the announcement that he was taking over the DC. But as soon as they said he's going to be directing Superman, I said that was the wrong decision. He should have recused himself. A good creator should know where your strengths are. Like, for example, myself, I would never be able to write Star Wars. I could never get my head around it. No matter how good I get someday, that is a franchise that I will never understand to the degree to be able to write it accurately and the way that the fans would want. It's just not my style. And every creator should be able to say that, separate themselves and say, hey, I'm a horror writer. I shouldn't do rom-coms. And Superman is not the type of film for James Gunn. He's way more into the comedic end. The Guardians of the Galaxy was a perfect project for him. And even the Suicide Squad, I think, was a great one for him as well.
I agree.
But,
I like
Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, these are all characters that James Gunn should never touch as a creator because he doesn't understand them. So I think that's where this all went downhill because his ego wouldn't let him say, hey, I'm not the right person for every job.
And he is literally all over the place for this. Yep. I had it ready to go for a segment earlier this week on Double D's, but I took it out, but it's now being shown around everywhere else. In the Entertainment Weekly spots, he's front and center. In every promotional thing, he's front and center. Even in the same trailer, it says, from director James Gunn. And
it's about him. It's not about Superman. It's not about even Cornswallow.
I mean, we go back to this right here. We go back to this. In this second, right before this happens, Crypto pulls the helmet off the dude that gets punched. You might miss it. Here comes Crypto. He's going to take the helmet off it. Right there. It's James Gunn's dog. It's James Gunn's style. Crypto's going to be all over this goddamn movie.
Yes,
it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's going to be insufferable.
Crypto's going to be the main character. Let's get that out the way.
So
they got like 8 characters in this daggone. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, bro, that's what I'm saying. This is not. He shouldn't be here. James Gunn. Look, I got a lot of problems with what his plan was for DC. He had no idea what he's doing. He needs to be away from his friends.
That whole gods and monsters thing that we broke down 2 years ago, that isn't even on the table anymore.
That doesn't even exist. None of that exists anymore.
Now they're writing a Wonder Woman movie. Wonder Woman wasn't on there. The Themyscira show was on there. That's gone. That's gone.
Because I'm saying, like, he doesn't like. Okay, if he was gonna do if I was gonna give him a particular character to run with, give him Booster Gold or something.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, but they're going to race swap him.
Well, of course they are. But like, give him Booster Gold, a character that is known for quips, that is very goofy, but at the same time has a serious side. And you can put in all the other offshoot cosmic DC characters in this. You have a time travel adventure. That's his shtick. It's a film you don't take very seriously. You have a lot of fun with, and then you go and enjoy popcorn and then play with your kids. That's the type of films he should be doing. Mm-hmm. You should not be doing. First of all, you shouldn't be doing anything with the big 3: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. You keep your filthy hands away from them, because that needs crafting of a much more grounded human being to do. We've seen what it's like when a non-grounded person touches the big 3. Disaster strikes every time. Disaster.
Plastic Man. He'd work with Plastic Man.
Sure, Plastic Man.
He'd work with that.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, those characters would all be great for. Can you imagine his Batman film?
I don't want
James Gunn made a Batman film. That would be so bad.
Because of him, it's gonna be Damian Wayne as Robin because of him.
No, of course, yeah, because he's your favorite.
Because it's his favorite.
We might end up with a cringer Batman than Batman and Robin.
Baby! Yeah, we don't say those words out loud, sir. That film didn't happen.
So here we are. We are less than a month because of the way the tickets went down. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you're going to get to go to like special July 7th, July 8th screening, shit like that. So we're going to have this movie before the 14th. We're going to have it out there in the wild. We're going to know. People are going to know. And I'm on the record. This is going to have an explosive opening weekend.
I agree.
It's going to be massive. We're talking probably worldwide, 200 million plus worldwide opening weekend. That's just the truth. Maybe even 300 because everybody wants to know. But then what's going to happen after that? I believe this movie's going to get eviscerated. People saying it's going to be fine. I think this movie, and I know I'm in a minority when I say it's like this, I think this movie is complete disaster incoming. I have not seen a single thing to say, oh, it's going to be fine. No, I see disaster because whether I want to say it or not, I in my lifetime, in my decades of watching cinema, I can tell what the narrative looks like. And the narrative of this movie, we don't know the real narrative.
Nope.
All we've seen is a jumbled together selection of scenes. To this moment, do we know what this movie's about? Do we know we don't need to know every in and out, but usually at this point, you know what the movie's about when you're going into it, getting ready to sit down. We know what is like Superman will be challenged by this and this, or so-and-so will have to go on and adventure this. We don't know anything.
Well, we do know one thing. It's not about Superman.
We know that.
No. And at some point, I mean, in this trailer too, I made fun of it when like you saw the clip and I caught onto it and everybody else caught onto it too. At this one moment, he's being sucked into there's like another dimensional rift thing going on at one point, and Metamorpho's there holding it. What's the green baby? What's the little? Did you catch that one?
I ain't seen no green baby.
Okay, all right. I'll bring it back up.
They got Kazoo up in this joint. Flintstone.
No.
There's too many characters in this movie.
See, and that's my problem.
Bring it back up here. Where'd it go?
It's not an ensemble movie.
It says
should be.
Superman. They got Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, me. Everybody's in this thing.
Hold on one second. Here it is, right here. No, that's not it. Remove.
You gonna show us the Power Rangers ship?
No, not the Power Rangers ship. I'm gonna show you the baby.
Got Power Rangers in this too. Wouldn't surprise me.
What the hell is this? I made fun and said, "What is that, Baby John Jones?"
What the heck is that?
I don't know.
I've heard people call the Martian Manhunter.
That's why I said that. I was like, "What is Baby?" People said it's Baby Joey. I don't even know what that is.
What the heck is going on here?
What is going on here? I'd
This
like
is
to know
an
what's going on here.
trip, bro. I'm done.
Hey, look. Here's Crypto. Here's Crypto again, right freaking there. There's Crypto.
Crypto's gonna have more screen time than Superman. Let's just get that out the way. We know this already. Golly, this is a green baby.
I mean, there's Metamorpho.
It looks fake as shit.
There's the problem. This looks.
Did he kidnap that baby?
I don't know. What's with the baby? What's going on with the baby? Can somebody explain what's going on? And nobody knows. This is my point. What is going on with this movie? And I don't want to hear, why don't you just wait till it comes out? How can you be so critical before it comes out? Because we're allowed to.
Oh my God.
Because James Gunn has not given us any definitive idea of what this movie's about.
This man's getting choked out by a space octopus holding a green baby. I'm done. I don't even know what I'm seeing.
And it looks like the Minecraft world is coming into play. All those blocks.
No. Are they featuring Mr. Mixie-Piddlix in this?
I don't know.
I am lost.
I mean, and when right here, the quit messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff. Yeah. James Gunn humor.
James Gunnism.
This is the problem. And apparently, the rumor is now when he uses his heat vision, it damages his eyes. That's why he's got 5 o'clock. That's why he's got like bags under his eyes and burn here. You've got like you said, the Power Ranger ship. Let's see if I can find here. You got Lois in the terrific ship flying it while Perry is sitting in there smoking a cigar.
I can't with this.
There is so much wrong with this, and people who are, and this is the thing. And I replied to the whacked out moronic stands who were yelling at me in my comments over my reaction to this trailer. some of us will not simply sit here and eat the slop and say thank you.
No.
And Drake, you were on a positive upswing after
I
we got
was.
the trailer.
I was.
And now it's pulled you back down to my level.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I gave the second trailer so much grace. So much grace because I was like, hey, I see Superman doing Superman things. The plot still was completely eluding me. And now I'm seeing even more nonsense being thrown around. It's the hodgepodge of insanity. What is the plot? What's the plot? I can sit there and people that say, oh, watch the movie. No. A trailer's job is to entice me to come and see the film. One of those major things that's especially of literary works, is what story is being told, especially for a character that's 90 years old. What Superman are we focusing on? What comic books is what's being featured here? Who are the main films? Like this is stuff that's needed in your trailer so you can show us what we're going into.
They've announced that Superman is 3 years into his career at this point. This is year 3. This is year 3. And so think about it like this. In year 3, they've already got him with Lois in year 3. They kind of just, let's just get there now. Let's not wait. Now, same mistake Snyder made. Don't just put them together. Just to appease people. Have it be a thing, a real story. And there's no Justice League. There's nothing, all that. So you've got...
There's no Justice League. And who are these schmucks?
They're the B team. I mean, they're the only good thing in this...
We got Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Mr.
You got Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Yeah, Guy Gardner, the later of the Green Lanterns, but we have no Justice League?
That's because John and Hal are doing a TV show, which is still
I'm about to throw up.
At one point in this trailer too, you have Guy Gardner saying, "Come on, Big Blue, take a shot." Now that's a Guy Gardner thing. He would
Guy Gardner is a goofball, so by all means,
and he's a dick. So he would get in Clark's face and say, "Take your shot, Big Blue." But why are we here with this? Not to mention. There's also a thing. Again, they show a construct. Remember the one where he's knocking the tanks? Apparently, the scene goes on, and one of the constructs is giving everybody the middle finger. But that's still not how the constructs work. That's not how they work. There's no attachment to the ring.
And the ring's not glowing in that scene either.
No, it isn't. It isn't. So there is just so much wrong with this. We don't know what's going on. And the people who are slobbering it up, you're allowed to like shit.
Yeah.
But don't get so offended when we pick it objectively and properly apart for why nothing makes sense. This is an exact example of please make it make sense. And the only thing that does make sense is, as we've all said it one way, shape, or form on this discussion today, James Gunn does not understand Superman. And he has proven now in 4 trailers at this point that this doesn't feel right. But all those little idiots, and I'll bring it back up. I'll show it again right now. I'll bring it back up, which is why I collected it for this purpose. The whole idea of these people with their, it's cooking it, this and that. And especially this guy right here, this guy who is also, if you remember back, you might remember, you might not. I do because I keep track of this shit. This guy right here, Jack, you can see he still has the avatar profile there. Massive Black Falcon Captain America simp stan. Constantly telling everybody how great that movie was going to be, how Sam is the best ever. That's who's doing this. This is the coolest Superman has ever looked. This movie has Superman and Krypto tag teaming MFers the entire duration like this. Then I need to personally shake James Gunn's hand. James Gunn is cooking. Wait. Someone cooked here. This freaking Zoomer terminology, which I despise. I hate that phrase. I even slipped up and said it myself because it's become commonplace. I hate the term, let them cook. They're cooking. I hate this. Speak like intelligent people. Use your brains, what's left of them. And once again, this is not rage or anger baiting. We're not here to just get clicks or rage baiting. We are actual fans of this source material, this content, this IP, of Superman, of DC. We like this. I'm going to full screen it. You'll sort of see it. I have almost the entire Paul Tini, Bruce Timm verse run over there. I've got Batman animated series. I've got the Adventure Superman. I've got Justice League and Unlimited, the entire collection. All I'm missing is Batman Beyond and the new adventures of Batman Superman. That's all I'm missing. I love this stuff. This is great. But James Gunn doesn't get it. Doesn't understand it. And we are allowed to be critical. Just because you want to stand under him and take it in the face doesn't mean the rest of us want to. Final thoughts.
I just want to add that I didn't think it was possible, but the James Gunn Superman fans are quickly becoming just as cringe, if not more so, than the Snyderverse fans.
They are. It's the same.
It's impressive.
Two sides of the
We
same
aren't
coin.
Snyder Bros.
Yeah, we're
not
neither
fans.
side. The Snyder movies were shit too.
Yes.
That doesn't mean James Gunn's movies, just because they're very different, will automatically be good. Extremes don't make quality. You can't just go from one extreme to another and expect it to be good. Quality exists somewhere between these extremes.
We are going to, I think, be very busy come July 14th. The week of July 14th. We're going to be very busy, and for weeks to come. I will stand by my statement. Massive opening weekend. And then I think there's going to be a lot of fallout as this movie gets eviscerated by YouTube. I'm not talking about shills. I'm not talking about critics. I'm talking about YouTube, where people go to hear what a movie is really about. It's going to get eviscerated. That's what I think. Okay.
I'm still hoping that this movie is good.
And
I really am.
I want James Gunn to take it in the ear on this one.
I know.
But in principle, we all want a Superman movie that's good. In principle. This one, I'm with Adam right now, where it's just like, yeah, James Gunn needs to be beat so hard that he's removed from DC entirely. But in principle, I'd love a good Superman movie. Because, Christopher Reeve's movies are fantastic. We want Christopher Reeve's Superman movie with modern technology. That would be incredible.
Sure, and that would be great. But here's the problem, Jed. If this movie fails, Superman's done. Okay? It's over. It's over. DC's done. Comic book movies themselves, it's over. It's over. Cancel Christmas. Santa's not coming to town. It's over. It's over. So I want this film to be good. But no, the dominoes are lining up. The fat lady's warming up the throat. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like what I'm seeing. And it's frustrating because I really had not all my eggs, but a couple eggs in this basket. I really want this movie to be good. This is going to be like the only movie I see on day one this year. Well, I might go see Jurassic Park just
dinosaurs.
Yeah, I like dinosaurs. And
once again, dinosaurs are going to win.
Without question, I don't think that's a debate. I don't think that's a conversation. Dinosaurs are going to make $500 trillion gajillion by 2 weeks in. I think that's a given.
Yeah,
that's a given. So I want this movie to be good. I don't want it to just do well financially. I want it to be a good film. I want to go in there and feel like, oh man, Superman. Oh man, I had fun. Ooh, I like this version of Lex Luthor. Oh, Ultraman, still a lousy character. Blah 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 blah. Like this is what I want going into this. But I know for sure I'm going to be bent over and unspeakable things are going to be done to my hiney. And I don't want that. I really want it to be good, but unfortunately, the dominoes are lining up, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
No, Riesel, I don't think there's 40 chess going on here. Not at all.
And James Gunn think that far ahead?
No, he can't. He can't. And Ariel asked us this question. Now, which one?
The WB, the Batman.
One. Yeah, the Batman.
I enjoyed that. I actually
he's okay. I
one.
tapped out after season 1. I wasn't really getting into it. I know that it has a good following, though.
I actually enjoy it. Like it's not as good as Batman Animated Series. Obviously, I don't think it's better than Batman Beyond, in my personal opinion. But it's still very good. I still think The Batman is a good show. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't an abomination.
No.
And like I really didn't like this. I thought that was too campy.
Batman Brave and the Bold is a waste of human feces. I hate that show.
Campy. Yes, you
I
can.
hate that joint. And
And
I
now-
know they're trying to do tributes to Adam West and stuff, but no, that joint went
No.
on for too long.
No.
It was weird. The animation didn't stick. I
hate
did
it.
not like that joint at
Hate
all.
it. Now, do you mean the one that was running parallel to all the good stuff, or Go? Because if it's Teen Titans, well, Teen Titans, where that we got, that's a great series.
Yeah, Teen Titans was
That
solid.
was fantastic. Ended poorly.
Yes, it did.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the show ended poorly. It didn't make any sense. Because then they did the movie Teen Titans in Tokyo, which was actually not a bad movie, but they should have gone another season. Is the problem? They should have gone another season.
Yeah, and the fact like they had opportunities to actually connect it with Justice League, and they didn't take those opportunities. And that's one. I think that also, for me personally, I think that kind of hurt the show.
Yeah,
because there was so many connective tissue that could have been used.
And Justice League sort of did, because they used this. It looked like they used the same version of Speedy at one point during the Booster Gold episode where Booster Gold first shows up.
Yeah,
and you see Speedy. So that's where I think that there is a tangential connection.
But I'm talking about as far as having the crossover, because like think about during that time period, like Justice League, whatever, Static Shock. Static Shock was an absolutely direct connection to Justice League.
Oh yeah, they brought him in.
Yeah,
they
brought him in.
Yeah.
Zeta Project was running at the same time, and that connected straight to Justice League and to Batman Beyond. So like they had a lot of going on. But I know that Teen Titans wasn't technically Timverse, but
it easily slots in.
Yeah, they could have did something. They could have did something. I think that would have extended
because that is Dick Grayson Robin.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Dick Grayson, 100%.
Because you see him be Nightwing in the Future Shot episode where Starfire gets bumped into the future. And at one point he does like this during the initial Slade arcs. He says to him, where Slade basically says, "I could be your father." At one point, it's a great shot where Stig says, "I have a father," and
then it pans
up, and you hear
that show was great.
Fantastic
shot. That show was great.
But now so that's that. And that's heresy. That's heresy. It's your opinion, but it's heresy. It's heresy. Batman Beyond is.
Oh my God,
I didn't like it originally, but then I watched it. I was like, oh, and then I rewatched it when I was in the full throw of rewatching Paul Dini Timverse, and wow, it's so good.
It's really good
because what they do with Terry McGinnis, which is so right, is that he gets his own rogues gallery. Yes, Bruce is there and helping him, but Terry earns his place as a Batman.
Yep.
In a new world with new,
and he's not a carbon copy, which is carbon copy. Yeah. But he's his own version. It's not him trying to be Bruce, and so it's very. I think it's a very good show. I think I don't like memory doesn't serve me well, but I'm pretty sure the show got canceled because it ended abruptly. I remember the show ending abruptly, and then it got that epilogue in Justice League.
It ended. You got the movie Return of the Joker, and then you get the final episode in the epilogue at the end of Justice League Unlimited season 1.
Yeah,
and which if you're doing a watch, what you have to do is you watch everything. You watch Justice League Unlimited. You stop right there. Then you watch Batman Beyond. Then you watch the finale of Justice League Unlimited season 1. Then you keep going. That's how it goes. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
See, and imagine they did that with Teen Titans. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. All I'm saying.
I know Dre has much to say.
Don't.
Dre and I first met while he was reviewing Young Justice seasons 4, 3, and 4. I tapped out. Season 1, a masterclass. Beautiful.
I love season 1. Season 2, I still enjoy.
Starts off well. It's a little shaky, but still lands solidly at the end. Season 3, you are off.
Season 3.
And I said 2 episodes in, I said, that's it. I'm out.
Season 3 was so bad.
As soon as they blew up Connor, I was like, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing this.
Man, season 4 of Justice League was like getting circumcised at the age of 30.
Young Justice. You said
Young Justice. Yes, thank you.
You said Justice League.
Young Justice.
Careful,
I said
careful, young man. Careful.
That's me messing up. Young Justice is like being circumcised at the age of 30. That is what it's like. Yeah. And then during that circumcision, lemon juice is then poured on you.
Ooh.
There you go. Man, that's what that show is like. Season 3 and season 4. Season 4 especially. Season 4, man, you might as well just give yourself a club foot.
They
That jump was
did
rough.
do a Legion of Superheroes show. Iffy. It was iffy. It wasn't great, but it was passable at the time. And
Yeah,
that one
it
got
was
cut
okay.
short too. They cut that one
was
short. It
okay.
was supposed to get a season 3, and they cut that one short.
Yeah, I didn't even follow that. Like I think I halfway through the first season because like first of all I don't really like the Legion very much.
I
don't
think Legion's kind of dumb if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't really like it very much. And then anything that deals with time travel kind of just I really don't like.
It's so dangerous.
I really don't like it. And not to mention, guess what was in Young Justice season 4? The Legion, and it's all of their crap trying to. I've pushed that out of my mind. And why? Why is this bad?
Yeah, but it got canceled. It's over. It's done.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord it got canceled. And then the school bus was connected. You know what? I don't even
know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say this one thing, and then I'm never talking about this ever again. So, in the first throughout the series, there's a school bus that has like kids in it, and like even in the first episode, like when, well, I'll skip. In the first season, there's a school bus that's on a freaking bridge, and the bridge is about to collapse. Superman's about to hold the bridge up, and then Superboy comes and lands on it, and it shakes. And because he wants to help, and he grabs the school bus and pulls it onto the bridge while Superman uses heat vision. And he's like, "Hey, train me. You know, like I want you to help me out." And Superman doesn't want to. He doesn't want to connect with.
Which is the whole purpose of season 1.
Yes.
These guys want training, but the hero's like, "No, you're all too young. We're not doing this."
Yep. And he didn't. And Superman didn't want to connect himself with the fact that he's been raped, essentially. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, it is what it is. That school bus apparently has been traveling through time with the Legion and keeps popping up in certain moments when it needs to be saved. And every time it's saved, they get caught into a time warp and skips time. So in every part throughout the series, it's just a ridiculous, because Tyrion, the Witch Boy, apparently is tampering with time. I'm telling you, trash. First ballot, Hall of Fame, trash.
That is a total fucking retcon. They never intended to do that shit that's total fucking retcon.
So ridiculous because they had to find a way to get Superboy out of the Phantom Zone. I hate what they did to that show. I loved that show.
They should have. They all I wanted was them to do an arc getting Kid Flash, getting Wally out of the speed.
Thank you.
Force. That's all I wanted.
How hard was that?
He's not dead. He's just trapped in the freaking Speed Force.
And they never address it. Ever.
They mourn him, not understanding it. But then, you know, Barry's there. Barry could have said, "Hey guys, he's not dead. He's just going so fast. He's trapped in the Speed Force. Why don't we do something about it?"
That's what I was waiting for in season 3. Huh? Season 3 could have all been about.
I thought that's where they were gonna go. I thought that's what they were gonna do, but no, we gotta have Burka chick with her hijabi chick with her multicolored spectrum powers.
Oh my god! I do not know if I am a girl anymore. I think I'm a they them. What are you talking about?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
And why did you make Marcia? Why did they make her white? And that was so creepy. Make her white bald chick.
Because she was hot, Adam. So we have to ruin her.
Why would you do that to Megan? Why would you do that to Megan?
Because there were gentlemen out there that like to do unspeakable things with a gallon of icy hot. So therefore, they had to go and ruin her for the folks that just like a little Martian action.
I mean, it was fine to have her and Connor break up. That's good for storytelling purposes. Have them broken up and find a way to come back together. But why did they have to make her look so goddamn creepy?
I don't know. And then in the fourth season. They just said, screw it. She's back to normal. I'm through.
Yeah. Well, that's because she was getting that Connor D again.
Oh, yes, she was. That's true.
Connor D. I mean, and it's all, and then of course the worst thing that what at the end of season 2 what basically had me walking out the door at the end of season 2 was, or maybe it was season 3, I don't know anymore. It's all jumbled in my head. Was how they made Black Lightning the leader. It's like at the very end, you have Black Lightning giving a Superman speech.
Yeah, it was
and
weird.
It's like, what's going on here?
It was
Why
weird.
are you doing this to me?
Because he's black, and man, I mean, season 3 was
that was season 3. Okay,
yeah, that was season 3. Yeah. That was the end of season 3.
Okay,
and
so
that's all the insult to everything.
So I lasted all the way to the first 2 episodes of season 4, and then I pulled the plug.
That's
how
man,
far I made it.
I hate, man. I'm telling you,
we got to move on. We went overtime on this one. I didn't know we were going to go that long on that. Ariel sent us down a rabbit hole there. But before we go on, I just want to remind everybody that I was right. Disney, of course, reporting that Snow White is #1 on Disney Plus.
I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
Yes, thank you. We called that one. All right, we got one more real topic here today, and this is, of course, follow-up to our discussions of it. Here we go. Switch 2. It's official. It has broken every record in terms of a console release. 3.5 million. Now, last time we heard these numbers, we were going, that feels low. No, apparently that's right on par. In fact, it's above par. Under par, if you want to proper golf terms. It's under par. Where the PS2 and that stuff only sold like 2.5 million at launch. So I think if the PS5 had been in a better era in terms of world insanity, it would currently own the
chip
crown.
issues. Yeah.
It would own the crown. And the Switch 2 would be battling for the crown of the PS5. But right now, the Switch 2 owns the crown. But I still think it could have been even bigger.
Oh, it unequivocally could be bigger. Just bigger with just exclusive. Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Mario. Have those 3 coming out at launch. It'd be 5 at least by now. But yeah, I agree. These numbers seemed weird to me. I'd never done a whole lot of research into opening weeks for consoles. And 3.5 seems low. I mean, Assassin's Creed Shadows was claiming this number in its first few days. Why are games selling nearly as well? I mean, we don't believe that number, but in general, why are games selling as well as consoles in their first week? That doesn't make sense to me, because you can play a lot more games on a console than just one game. So it doesn't make sense to me. 3.5 worldwide seems low, but that the numbers are the numbers. They say that's really good. So we'll see how it is in the long run. I think we've all had our thoughts on the Switch 2. We have complicated opinions on them. I'm going to get a Switch 2 someday when there's games I care about, but you have to give them props for this. It was always going to be in competition for the biggest launch of all time. I don't think any of us disagreed with that it was going to be right up there, but it took the crown, like you said.
I made the video and I said its built-in fan base was going to guarantee it a good launch and overall a chance of being the highest-selling console of all time. And I got a lot of pushback for that, but here we are. They're off to the best start of all time. So it's kind of on the track right now to reach it. But, I mean, Dre, though, we've heard a lot of problems in the past couple weeks now. There's a lot of issues with the Switch 2 itself. I don't think that's going to slow anything down, though. People keep buying it.
No, I don't think it's going to slow down because the Nintendo fan base is locked in, and that's why Nintendo can do whatever they want. This is why they can do whatever they want, because the Nintendo faithful stands, whatever they want to be called.
The drones.
Yeah, Nintendo drones. Thank you. Like whatever, it doesn't matter. They'll slop it up. The Switch 2 is literally nothing new. It is literally a Switch. There's no difference. The screen is what? A little bigger and a little thinner? That's it? That's it? And you're going to charge me gojillions? And you get down on your knees and start begging daddy for more? Are you crazy?
No. Question. Because you are a Pokemon guy, I don't know. Is Z to A cross-platform? Is it both? Switch?
Oh, yeah, both. So
it's going to be on both.
Oh, yeah. So then
There's
that would be your motivation to get a Switch 2 in the next couple months, and you have no motivation now.
Zero. And this is the thing. Even if it wasn't a mainline Pokemon game, why in the world would you put it on the Switch when the Switch 2 is going to be out? You're crazy.
Yeah.
Seduce me, for God's sake.
Wine,
Seduce
dine, bring
me.
me chocolates.
Anything. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, you can just play it on the Switch. Well, the Switch 2 is out, so you can buy a Switch 2 and then buy the Switch game. No. I'm going to not buy the Switch 2 because I'm not retard. So that doesn't gonna equate with me. Make their joint. If you make ZA Switch 2 exclusive, you're gonna get another 10 million in sales. Today you get 10 million.
Yeah.
Every Poke freak out there is gonna go and buy it just because they want to play the new Pokemon game. Period. But you're gonna sit there and tell me that we're gonna extend the Switch's life for no reason? Come on.
I mean, it's one thing. Well, there's always that little bit of crossover between a generational thing, a PS4 to a PS5. There's still a lot of games are in the oven. There are going to be games that are coming out, especially now when they made the PS5 backwards compatible to PS4. So there's going to be a little crossover, and it's going to extend the life. Same thing with every other console. There's always a little bit of crossover, especially with backwards compatible era. But this doesn't make sense when, as you said, it's literally just an upgraded Switch 1.
It's nothing.
It should be the Switch Pro. We should have gotten this Switch like 5 years ago and call it the Switch Pro. That's what this should have been.
Or do something, I don't know, innovative. But that's what I'm saying. That's why when we said it a week or so ago.
Nintendo only gets innovative when they got kicked in the nuts.
Exactly. And they knew that they were going to get paid because their fan base is coming.
It's good business.
Sure. If I can make gajillion dollars by not doing anything, yeah, I'll do it. Especially if I know that there's no competition. There's no competition. I know Xbox has announced we ain't making a mobile. Shut up! You're not doing anything.
Oh, they announced the price. Apparently, it's going to be like $600-$700.
Yeah, the white one's like $700. The black one's $1,000. I don't know what they're trying to say with that, but but like, bro. There is no competition, so I can just sit there and just drop my nuts on the table. There's nothing here. But this is what's frustrating me because I am the normie in this situation because I'm not going to sit there and get down on my knees and beg Nintendo for more. You got to try to seduce my dollar, and you told me with my normie dollar that you don't care. And that's more than enough for me to walk away. You don't have anything in there for me. I was never a Nintendo guy, ever in my history.
Yeah.
Have I had Nintendo systems before? Of course, we all have. But I was never a Nintendo guy. I want to get the new Pokemon. But if you're going to sit there and tell me, like, oh, well, you're going to get on Switch and just play on Switch 2 later. Well, then why would I buy your Switch 2?
Yeah.
Because I don't like that, but when you have a fan base that's just gonna eat slop,
listen.
Who am I?
If we're gonna criticize stands, Superman stands for slopping it up, the Nintendo fan base, as loyal as they are literally sloppy. Jed, I feel like the fervor for Mario Kart World is already dying off.
Like I said it would. The novelty of the open world would die so quickly. The moment that people have the ability to skip the open world, as Beater calls them, the tweener tracks, people are going to do that. And we're already seeing that. Even people who like Mario Kart World are like, yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's better than 8. Maybe it's about the same as 8. And that isn't what you should see in the one exclusive that you offer. If it's the one exclusive for a new console, it needs to do gangbusters. It needs to be like, wow, this is the greatest Mario Kart game. That's the only way to even remotely justify it. I actually had the chance to play Mario Kart World for the first time last night. I was over at Beardo's house and we drank way too much beer and we played some Mario Kart World and it was fine. The tracks are so fucking wide. I was winning and I had no experience with it. It's normie bait. Like it's the easiest Mario Kart I've ever played.
It's wide to make good for 24 people playing at a time. That's why
24 is too many. It's insane.
I've seen it. It's nuts. It's a game about. It's basically, it's like for lack of a better term, a derby where everybody's crashing into each other. That's what it's about. It's not. You're not racing anymore at that point. You're just firing off your items, and at the last second, you're going to grab victory.
Yep, pretty much.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, that's exactly what it is. And your derby metaphor is an apt one because unlike previous Mario Kart games, when you get hit by something, it doesn't affect you that much. Like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for example, if you're on Moonview Highway and you get hit by one of the normal ass cars on the road, you're going to fly in the air, you're going to crash, you're going to stop moving entirely for like 2 seconds. In this one, you just kind of do a barrel roll and slow down a little bit, but you never stop entirely. It's the same thing with items. Even blue shells aren't that big of a slowdown. And nothing's effective anymore. Nothing slows you down, bumping into people, getting hit by a bullet. All these items that used to nearly incapacitate you for several seconds, they're just a minor inconvenience.
Yep. The most inconvenience I've seen is when somebody gets knocked off the track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then your items get taken away from you. Yeah. But even that, I think it's faster. Lakitu picking you up is done quicker, I believe. So you're back to racing sooner.
Here we are. This is the best launch ever, but if you're not a Nintendrone, you aren't having you're not feeling the vibe. It's just another day that ends in Y, and you're going to go back to what you're playing. And as Dre said, you're not enticed. There's nothing enticing you to go with. They have left money on the table for Pokemon fans, Mario fans, real Mario fans, people who want a standalone real Mario game, which they haven't had for a long time. There you go. Why not give us something that? Even Zelda. Now, of course, it's been too soon for a Zelda game. Mm-hmm. Even though Tears of the Kingdom is essentially an expansion pack for Breath of the Wild, essentially, it's still too soon for a Zelda game. And there was no way they were going to have a brand new thing. And of course, Zelda, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to reset everything and do something completely different. They're not going to continue that storyline likely. They're going to go in a whole nother direction again because that's what Zelda does. It just keeps splintering the timeline more and more. But even though this game was supposed to reorganize timeline, whatever, different conversation. Point is, you left money on the table for your major franchises. No sports games, no party games, nothing at launch, nothing really there, nothing bring people together. Just Mario Kart World, which 2-3 weeks in now is, I'm not going to say falling off, but people are just moving on. And they're playing games on their Switch 2s you can get better versions of on PC or other consoles. It's going to do well. It's going to keep doing well, but we just will keep saying over and over again, this could have been much bigger, much better. And they, in my opinion, to what Dre says, he's absolutely right. They're going to do it because it's easy money, and Nintendo doesn't really care about its fans. They care that the fans will line up and say, please, sir, take my money for whatever slop you're going to feed me. That's simple. And with that,
it's proven.
Yeah,
it's right in front of us. It's proven.
Yeah, and we're done.
I'm gonna get my money though.
Yeah,
I'm tweaking.
You're gonna get Z to A though for your regular Switch, right?
Oh yeah, I'm buying it.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Z to A could convince a lot of people if it were an exclusive, but it's not. So it's just a weird decision that they made. Yeah. I mean, and I don't get the people praising some of these games that are old games that are on Switch 2. People are saying just buy it because it has old games on it, like Cyberpunk 2077. It plays like it did in the PS4, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing! I love it! Everyone get it for Cyberpunk." Or the Zelda games. Oh, they actually play at 60 frames per second. If you care about that, you should buy a Switch 2 just to play these Zelda games at 60 frames per second. Or the same thing with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Same thing. It's running a little bit more smoothly, and the spawn rates have gone up because the hardware can handle it, and so people are getting shinies left and right.
Waste. So wait,
that's just not enough. If those were side things with the launch, that'd be fine. But old games that I already have, I actually have all of those games I just listed. Why am I buying a new console to replay games that I already have?
Yeah, do you know what you just described to me? Everything you just described is called a firmware update.
Yes.
And you think I'm about to drop multi-hundos because that junk got a firmware update? These people are insane, bruh. They're insane.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And just like announced the other day, I talked about a couple days ago. I don't want to hear Sony even utter the word PlayStation 6 right now. I don't want to hear that. And that's my console of choice. No, let's let the PS5 breathe for a few more years now that we don't have production restrictions anymore. Don't say that. Don't say that, especially because, like with Nintendo, show me the next innovative leap in console right now. Show me. Whatever they come up with next, it's not going to be much different than what I've got next to me right here. The hardware there's no advancement in hardware. I don't need it to be like a PC. When I want a PC game and I can afford it, I'll get a rigged PC game. But until then, I like my console gaming what it is. We are nowhere near real VR. We're not even close to that. So if you're going to even start thinking about a PlayStation 6, what are you going to do that's so revolutionary about it? I mean, the only reason I would get it if there were games on it that I couldn't get on the PS5. But right now, I'm very happy with my PS5. I'm very happy playing games on my computer when I have to play it on there. I'm very happy. Let's stop and let things breathe. That's the problem with a lot of things in the world. Nobody just stops and let it breathe. It's always, how can we make our next buck? How can we scam and grift off our customer base again? And that's unfortunate. Once upon a time, they really were all trying to be innovative. I mean, Sony was innovative when they said, hey, let's make our console a DVD player at the same time. Brilliant. Made tons of money, held the crown as number one for years in overall consoles.
That offered something unique. There's a reason, the PS2 is the highest selling console, because it tried something new and gave more value.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was an absolute unequivocal upgrade from the PS1.
Yep.
Unequivocal.
And backwards compatible.
Yep, and backwards compatible off the jump.
And I was still buying PS1 games when I had my PS2.
And see, and that makes sense, because now not only do I can play my backwards compatible games, but also the newer games, and I can play DVDs.
Yep.
What it justifies its own cost, because back then Blu-ray players, DVD players were really fucking expensive. So if you could get one for virtually the same price and it'd be a gaming console, that's a no-brainer, instant financial good decision.
Because of that, my DVD Blu-ray players have always been my PlayStation console. Because of that, it locked me in to that trend. Every time I upgraded, it was still my Blu-ray DVD console. I'd never had to buy another one. Even now, guess who uses my old PS4 now for Media Center? My mother. Because I don't use it. I gave it to my mom, and she uses it for streaming. She uses it for DVDs, Blu-rays. Because it works. It still works. And also, her DVD Blu-ray players were all shit, and they didn't like to work properly. They're all crap. So I gave her my PS4, which I don't use anymore. So I want it all to make sense, and I would like to stop being ripped off, and I would like to actually enjoy something without having to worry about buying the next one so soon. Let's not make this the cell phone market for a lot of people. Oh, it's a new year, a new cell phone, but the one I've had for several years still works just fine. Yeah,
and they're not different at all.
And yeah, I should put a new battery in it because my battery is shit. But other than that, it's fine. It works, no problems. Anyway, let's end the show. Let's end the show because I gotta take a drive someplace because I forgot to buy something for dinner, so I have to go out. Jed, what's your week look like?
Oh, well, everyone can find me on YouTube at Hollywood Scholar, just regularly scheduled live streams this week, including Saturday Night Drive-In this Saturday, but Adam will talk more about that.
Dragon Lady.
I will not be here the next couple of weeks, so
okay. Yeah. All right. Have a good time, whatever you're doing. Dre, now that you're off them drugs, what you got?
Oh, yeah. Thank God I'm off the drugs. This week, I don't think I'll be dropping anything off the top of my head. I still got physical therapy, and my son could be here at any day. So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears peeled. But if something drops that needs my attention, most sure it will be there on the Brooklyn Comics YouTube channel. And follow me on Twitter, X at TheBrute00.
Okay. As for me, tonight, as every Sunday night, I'll go be recording Wormhole Watch with the Devil Bradley Burnett, Fractured Filter, and Jay Hitman. If Hitman shows up this week, he hasn't been there the past couple of weeks. But so catch that every Wednesday on Brad's channel, edited down for goodness. Other than that, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, join me for the Daily Dive with Double D's, where we do weird and wonderful things over there. And just as a reminder, I am a mere, let's check it right now. I forgot to mention it. We are a mere 7 subs away from 4,000 on this channel. And I'm always told great things happen when you get past that 4,000. The algorithm takes a different look at you. Let's get the channel rolling, guys. So share the channel, guys. Share videos, share streams, hit the like buttons, all that good stuff. Rest of the week, we got, as I said, Double D's Monday through Friday, where you guys are the creative control of that show. Kratos has already warned me. He's got some weird shit planned for me at the beginning of the week. If you haven't caught up, video game streams yesterday, we did the first Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 stream on this channel. Alpha and I, along with Cash Kester, we played some stuff. People enjoyed it. We're going to do more of that. Catch that Thursday. Alpha and I will be doing another Space Marine 2 stream on Thursday. Saturday night drive-in next week. Jed, it's your choice. What we got?
Well, we just watched the first film in this series a couple months ago, so it felt right going into the summer blockbuster season to watch the recent blockbuster Top Gun Maverick, finishing out that series.
Okay,
Nice.
so should be a good discussion there because it'll be my first watch. I have never gotten around to watching it just because, not that I didn't care, just because it was just not important to me to get to it. But now we're going to get to it and give it a watch. Rest of the week, other than that, I don't know who we have a guest for on Ballbusters, but I also can say next Saturday, it's that time of the month again. It's Among Us night for Ballbusters Gaming, where many horrible things will be said and done, and none of us will feel bad about it, because that's how that game rolls. So join us. We'll be multi-streaming from multiple channels like that. Let's see, anything else? Mellow Mondays tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. I got topics tomorrow night. I've got actual topics. Won't be flying by the seat of our pants. We'll be stretching, wondering what we're talking about. I've got real articles to go over. Funny things will be done. And then, of course, we'll be back here next week for another roundtable, 2 p.m. Eastern. So thank you, one and all, for joining us today. We appreciate you guys. Without you, nothing happens. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channels. I don't think I've missed announcing anything. So good night, everybody. Have a good night, a day wherever you may be.